everyone. My name's Michelle with the Book Dragon, and today we're joined by the authors Emily Ippolito and her daughter Teyla Kai. And they've both written Teyla Kai's Adventures, and today we're going to be talking about that series, and particularly The Lost Wings, which is the focus of this week's book tour. Hi, Emily. Hi, Teyla.
Hi.
Pleasure to have you both with us. So, I've got some questions for you that our viewers might be interested in hearing. So, I'll go ahead with those if that's okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like to start by asking you, Taylor, how does it feel to have a character in a book named after you?
Quite weird because it's like personality wise, it's more similar to me when I was younger. So it's quite weird that it has my name because then like if like any people from my school like sees it, they're like, oh, like can we get this? And like I'm just like, you can if you want, but it's like a children's book, so it's quite weird.
And I mean, Emily, Taylor's kind of answered this a little bit, but how much does the Taylor Kai in the book resemble the real Taylor?
Yeah, so basically like when we first decided to do this, the idea was to have it loosely based on Taylor, have it be a little fairy, a little redheaded blue-eyed fairy that resembles her up to a point. And then personality wise, it was more of like we were just kind of creating this character. So like there's elements I think of like the silliness and things like that of Taylor, but it's also a character. So I would say it's like very loosely based on Taylor herself.
So, as well as being mother and daughter, you're also co-authors. How does it feel to work so closely with a family member?
Do you want to answer first?
Quite confusing. Um, Mainly like not one working with, but more for when they see that we both made it, they either think that she just helped a bit and I made it, or that they just think that she made it and I just said a few things about it. It just said, "Oh yeah, that's good," when we both did it. So it's
Mhm.
like difficult.
Yeah, I would say is like I think it's cool. Like I really enjoy that we're able to just kind of do our stories together, and it basically started as us just doing little bedtime stories, and then thinking like what if Taylor Kai was a fairy, what adventures would she go on? And so then me and Taylor would start coming up with ideas, and then we decided to then write it down, and then eventually decided to make it into a book that was available to others. And so for me, like that whole experience is just really cool, and I think it's something that will be nice to like also look back on, whether or not the success of the book is there or not. Like it's nice for us to have those books and to continue with those stories, and to know that we've done it together. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Okay, I think it's lovely that you can both be creative together.
Yeah. It's fun.
So, where did the idea for the story in The Lost Wings come from?
Yeah, so with the story of the Lost Wings, again, that was just kind of like us doing little bedtime stories together, and coming up with ideas. And I think for me and Taylor, I can't remember, honestly, I can't remember if this was the very first one we came up with, but we felt like it would work well to be the first one because it kind of introduces the character. And so a lot of times we'll have like a moral of the story. So all of our stories that we have written that eventually will become books all has like something, I think, some sort of positive message at the end. And so the idea behind The Lost Wings is about a fairy that just really, almost idolizes this human girl that she watches, and really is fascinated by her, and just thinks, wow, what if I was human? Like that would be so much better than being a fairy. And so the story basically is about that feeling, and kind of pulls on the fact that sometimes in real life maybe all of us wish we could like be like someone else, or we admire someone so much we're like, oh, wouldn't that be cool? And so then the story behind this is just then by the end of it she realizes like, yeah, that was great, but I really miss just being myself, and that's what feels true to me. So that was the idea behind The Lost Wings, is to have kind of like a little magical kind of way of describing that for kids. So
Really important message. So can you tell us what to expect in the next installment of the Teyla Kai series?
Yeah. Do you have anything to say first before I don't
Um,
want to take over?
a lot of new characters and a lot of sweets and candy and stuff like that.
Yes. So the reason why she's saying a lot of new characters and sweets and candy is because it's literally going to be called Teyla Kai's Adventures: The Candy Dimension, and
Oh,
it goes into um, like within our books we like to bring in sometimes either people that we know personally, we create a character about them. So in the next book there is a character called Aunt Heather, which is literally actually Taylor's Aunt Heather. It's like
okay.
loosely based on her, just loosely, and so that character is introduced, and it's they go on an adventure together. And so obviously Taylor's Adventures, there's always some sort of adventure, and they go to a place called the Candy Dimension, and so that's a whole other little world. um, I don't want to give too much away, but it's basically a world full of little tiny little fairies that are all part of the Candy Dimension. It's kind of a whole little world that they visit, and they're really excited to visit. And when they visit, something happens that makes it even more of an adventure. But
Ooh,
I
that
don't want to
sounds
give that
fun.
part away just yet.
And how does Auntie Heather feel about this being featured in a book? Yeah. So tomorrow is the signing for your book, and we'll have signed copies available in the store. And you can come along and check that out between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. at the Book Dragon shop, which is at 6 West Road, Stockton-on-Tees. And we'll also be able to pick up copies on our website or after the signing too. So thank you for joining us today, Emily and Taylor. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.